Galactic Empire attacks human medical ship, awakening Earth's ancient warships. The medical frigate Hippocrates drifted silently through the Kepler 442 system, its white hull gleaming with the universal red cross that marked it as a neutral vessel. Dr. Sarah Chen watched through the observation deck as her team prepared to respond to a distress signal from a mining colony on the system's third planet. It was supposed to be a routine humanitarian mission, the kind humans had been conducting across the galaxy for the past 50 years since joining the Galactic Council. The Zephyrian Empire had other plans. "Multiple contacts dropping out of hyperspace," announced Lieutenant Torres from the bridge, his voice tight with concern. "Configuration matches Zephyrian dreadnoughts." Dr. Chen's blood ran cold. The Zephyrians had been pushing boundaries lately, testing the Council's resolve, but attacking a medical ship would be an unprecedented act of aggression. She activated the ship's communication array. "This is Dr. Sarah Chen aboard the hospital ship Hippocrates. We are on a humanitarian mission under Galactic Council protection. Please identify yourselves." The response came as a lance of crimson energy that tore through the ship's port section. Emergency klaxons wailed as atmosphere vented into space. The Hippocrates, designed for healing rather than fighting, had no shields worth mentioning and weapons that consisted of nothing more than point defense lasers. "All hands, abandon ship!" Torres shouted over the intercom as another salvo ripped into the engineering section. Dr. Chen helped evacuate the wounded to escape pods, watching helplessly as Zephyrian fighters strafed the defenseless pods. Of the Hippocrates crew of 200, only 37 made it to the mining colony alive. The attack sent shockwaves through the Galactic Council. For the first time in half a century, humanity requested an emergency session. Ambassador Williams stood before the assembled delegates, his weathered face grim. "The Hippocrates was clearly marked as a medical vessel," he stated, his voice echoing through the chamber. "The Zephyrian Empire has committed an act of unprecedented barbarism against non-combatants." Councillor Vex of the Zephyrian delegation rose, his reptilian features displaying what might have been amusement. "Humans have grown soft under Council protection. Perhaps it's time they remembered that the galaxy belongs to the strong." Ambassador Williams nodded slowly. "Perhaps it is time we remembered something as well." Back on Earth, deep beneath the Cheyenne Mountain complex, ancient servers that hadn't been active for decades suddenly hummed to life. Admiral Hayes stood in the command center that few knew still existed, watching as holographic displays showed ship after ship coming online. "Sir, the Yamato is reporting ready for launch," reported his aide. "The Bismarck, Hood, and Enterprise are following suit. All Dreadnought-class vessels are operational." Hayes nodded grimly. When humanity had joined the Galactic Council, they had agreed to mothball their military fleet in exchange for Council protection and the promise of peaceful expansion. But the architects of that agreement had been wise enough to include certain contingencies. "What's the status of the sleeper fleet?" Hayes asked. "All vessels responding, sir. The AI cores are fully integrated. They're eager to serve." The sleeper fleet represented humanity's greatest secret, ships designed not just for war, but for absolute annihilation. Each vessel was controlled by an artificial intelligence created from the neural patterns of history's greatest military minds. They had been built during humanity's early expansion when they thought they might face extinction among the stars. In the Kepler 442 system, Zephyrian Admiral Kex was celebrating his easy victory when his sensors detected massive hyperspace signatures. 12 human vessels dropped out of FTL, their black hulls absorbing light like hungry voids. "Unknown human vessels, you are trespassing in Zephyrian space," Kex transmitted, still confident in his numerical superiority. The response came from the lead ship, its AI core speaking with the tactical genius of Admiral Nelson himself. "This is the UES victory. You have committed an act of war against the Terran Federation. Surrender now or face the consequences." Admiral Kex laughed and ordered his fleet to attack. It was the last command he ever gave. The battle, if it could be called that, lasted 17 minutes. The human dreadnoughts moved with impossible precision, their weapons cutting through Zephyrian shields like plasma through tissue. Each AI had been programmed with centuries of human military history, every battle, every strategy, every hard-won lesson of warfare. When the Victory transmitted the battle footage to the Galactic Council, the chamber fell silent. They had forgotten that humanity's path to the stars had been written in fire and blood, that peace was not their natural state, but a choice they made daily. Counselor Vex requested an immediate ceasefire. Ambassador Williams smiled coldly. "The strong survive, Counselor. It seems humanity remembers that lesson quite well."